the tone of where I'm coming from, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming and bearing with us through this evening. I've enjoyed it. Thank you to the League. We have to really get real with what we're doing with our votes. I've spent a lot of time looking at the votes that Washington makes, and again, what they say to us when the President talks about taking a second look at NAFTA, and then gets a word from Canada that they didn't care for what he had to say, and then it's never said again. That tells you what's going on. Here, we can tell you anything. We can say great things. We all want to say and see great things happen in this country, but reality is reality. The powers that have taken us to this point in this country, the Republicans and the Democrats, have done it intentionally. The borders are open intentionally. Our boys are fighting wars all over the world intentionally. Not with our approval. Our industries and our technology has been already shipped to China, and yet they're telling us we can compete? How can we compete? Are you prepared to work for $1.50 an hour? Are any of us? I mean, these are real questions, and we've got to answer them, and we can't take the 3-second sound bites or make jokes out of them. It's not between my two opponents that the problem exists. We each carry a piece of it every day. We don't know whether our jobs will be there tomorrow. This government has to start to face the fact that the American people own this country. We are the sovereigns in this country, and it's up to us to stand up and take the power back and say no to runaway government, and to say yes to policies that make sense for us in our states, in our homes. Our future is going to depend on it. We are a powerful nation if we want to be, but if we let others control the governing of ourselves, then we will take a back seat, and whatever they decide, we're going to have to live with. So I think the other course is much better. Let's stand up, let's be Americans, let's look at how they vote and hold them accountable. Thank you.
We need this on Friday. I hope we would have had a chance to. Joe Frank is here, who is the coordinator of my Veterans Advisory Group and is helping me work hard to listen to veterans' needs. If you're a veteran, we do this at all our events. If you're a veteran, would you raise your hand so we can say thank you? Thank you for your service. The facts are these, friends. Our nation is in trouble. For 2 years now, we've seen one-party rule in Washington, D.C. that has taken us to the brink of a real abyss that I don't think we recognize. More often than not, when you talk to people out of the district and you visit with them and you listen to them, they say, I never thought I'd expect this to happen. They don't recognize what's going on in America. America is great because it's a free place. Our system of living together allows us to succeed or fail, to find our way in life, to be who we want to be. Around the world, they marvel at us. And in the last 2 years especially, we've raced down a path where our country is dramatically changing. I believe that we have one last chance, that we can stop what's going on in Congress, and we can go up and we can hold both parties accountable for what the Constitution says and what our country needs. Because America is still great. It's the greatest place on earth. This election is really big. And it's about the record that Congressman Carnahan has, and it's about the vision for our country. My name is Ed Martin. I'm running for Congress, and I'd like your vote. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. This is important, to have this kind of a conversation. People have different ideas, different thoughts. At the end of the day, for us to really succeed, we've got to come together to get things done. Many things we can agree on, some we don't. And we need more work and more conversation to be able to get to where this country needs to be. This is a tough time for this country. But there's been too many of the tired old politics and division in this country. And here in this state, my opponent is best known for the Memo Gate scandal in Jefferson City. Cost the taxpayers $1.5 million. And we all had to pay for that. He wants to do in Washington what he did for Jefferson City. I think that's the last thing we need. That's the last thing we need. My record has been one of working with our local people, communities, leaders to get the job done. Look here in Jefferson County, working with our leaders to help with flood control on the river, getting on key committees so we can address the most dangerous roads in this community, working with our law enforcement, education, judicial system, to be sure we're going after the meth epidemic here in Jefferson County. There are unique challenges. Jefferson County has unique assets that we can tap into. Innovative companies like Unico. They're actually hiring more workers now because they have innovative technologies to be sold here in Jefferson County and all over the world. We need to tap into the education energy here. Places like Jefferson College, where they're going to be training people to be able to use these technologies tomorrow. I want to continue that work. It would be an honor to continue as your representative, to work with you. Thank you for being here. I'd appreciate your vote and look forward to working with you all in the months ahead. Thank you.
Closing statements. I'd like to thank the candidates very much for participating in the very here this evening and also on Friday. And I'd like to thank all of you for coming and to making this a successful event. And also equally thank our co-sponsors and gracious hosts of the Jefferson Parks Recreation Center. Just remember to vote. Democracy is not a spectator sport. Vote November 2nd.